After a little delay, Huawei's Mate 50 series was just unveiled. The device introduces the company's top-end lineup and, like its predecessors, contains the eagerly anticipated Mate 50 RS Porsche edition. It's time to take a closer look at how these two phones compare to one another, given that the phone has a number of improvements over its older predecessor, including the most recent Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 processor, 64 megapixels telephoto cameras, and a larger battery. Both gadgets maintain the same general form factor, given that their displays are the same size. This is not surprising. Even though the Mate 50 Pro has a bigger battery, there isn't much of a difference when you look at the individual dimensions, with the exception that it is a little bit thinner. In comparison to the Mate 40 Pro, the Mate 50 Pro has a body that measures 162.1 by 75.5 by 8.5 millimeters. Additionally, the new Mate 50 Pro weighs 205 grams, as opposed to 212 grams for the Mate 40 Pro. Both gadgets have a circular camera module with curved corners on the back, which makes them both comfortable to handle. The camera housing of the Mate 50 Pro has a metallic appearance, whereas the Mate 40 Pro has an all-black appearance. However, the module designs are different. The variations between the two versions are even more noticeable as you approach the front. With 3D face recognition, the Mate 50 Pro has a water drop notch. The Mate 40 Pro, on the other hand, has a punch-hole display with two cameras. Both phones have an IP68 rating for water and dust resistance. Despite their differences, both smartphones have attractive designs and interesting color selections. While the Mate 40 Pro was available in Mystic Silver, Black, Green, White, and Yellow color options, the new Mate 50 Pro has 4 color options, including Black, Silver, Orange, and Purple. The two phones have high-quality display panels installed for their screens. The 6.74-inch OLED display on the new Mate 50 Pro has a resolution of 1212 by 2616 pixels and a refresh rate of 120 Hz. In contrast, the 6.76-inch screen on the Mate 40 Pro had a refresh rate of 90 Hz and a resolution of 1344 by 2772 pixels. Despite this, both displays are great, with vibrant colors and exceptional visibility. It is obvious that the newer Snapdragon chip makes it significantly more effective and powerful than the Kirin chip in the earlier edition. The maximum RAM and ROM on both devices is 8 gigs. However, there is a possibility to increase storage, utilizing the SIM card port and shared nano memory slot. Internationally, the Mate 50 Pro ships with the brand new EMUI 13 OS, while China receives Harmony OS 3.0. The Mate 40 Pro, on the other hand, uses the EMUI 11 OS, which is based on Android 10. The updated model also receives considerable improvements to the cameras. A 50-megapixel Sony IMX766 main camera with optical image stabilization capability, a second 13-megapixels ultra-wide camera, and a third 64-megapixels periscope telephoto camera with 3.5x optical zoom are all included with the Mate 50 Pro. A 50-megapixels primary camera, a 12-megapixels periscope telephoto camera with a 5x optical zoom, and a 20-megapixels ultra-wide camera are all included in the Mate 40 Pro. Be aware that the new Mate 40 Pro lacks the Leica optimization seen in the earlier Mate 40 Pro model. Both phones have a 13-megapixel selfie camera and a TOF 3D sensor for face recognition on the front. Both phones have Bluetooth 5.2, SBC, SE, and LDAC codecs. Although they all feature USB-C 3.1 Gen 1 connections, only the Mate 50 Pro supports DisplayPort 1.2. The two phones also have an infrared port and support for NFC. In comparison to the Mate 40 Pro's 4400 mAh battery, the Mate 50 Pro has a larger 4700 mAh battery. They both do, however, enable wireless charging at 50 watts, 66 watts fast charging, and 5 watts reverse wireless charging. There are several variations of the Huawei Mate 50 Pro, including 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage and 8 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of storage, starting at $977 for the 256 gigs model and rising to $1,121 for the 512 gigs model, respectively. There are also two Kunlun special editions, which are available for $1,006 and $1,149, respectively. On the other hand, the Huawei Mate 40 Pro's international launch price for the 8 and 256 gigs edition was €1,199, but Amazon and other stores sell it for under $1,000. It is obvious that the Huawei Mate 50 Pro offers major improvements in a number of areas. The main one is in the processor area, where the new Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 chip ensures that a 2022 smartphone performs at its peak, even without the Leica optimization of the previous generation model. The new Huawei's XMAGE image processing technology improves photography on the new smartphone. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found this comparison interesting. Have a nice day and see you soon.